Look at the spike strips. There's the spike.
Welcome to Viral Twist. This guy carjacked a ride, screamed at the windshield, got spiked on every tire, and still thought he had a chance.
Carjacking suspects, or if the vehicle that they're in it was carjacked during a separate crime. We just don't have those details. But carjacking suspect or suspects, to say the least here, at least as far as we are hearing on the radios here. Again, we're listening to LA County Sheriff. Every time he jumps on the freeway, I anticipate CHP getting involved here, but he is on and off the freeway. So this is wholly LA County Sheriff's pursuit here, and this is an agency who, especially as of late, they have always been a traditionally conservative agency. Lately, they have not been in many extended pursuits, below average, I would say, in recent weeks and months, but you can see they have dedicated upwards of 9 or 10 units to this pursuit alone. They want this guy bad. Obviously, a lot more details on that crime that we are trying to gather more information on, but in any event, a dangerous suspect on the loose here, as he has now taken control of this, what is believed to be a carjacked vehicle, now continuing on Atlantic Boulevard with that primary unit really closing in, only about 3 car lengths behind him, guys.
Yeah, you wonder if he's going to make a move. And this guy's really agitated. Oh, going the wrong way now. It looks like he's coming into traffic. But that shot that you had, he's literally pointing out the front windshield and screaming. His behavior has been really erratic inside, the cockpit of that car. It makes you worried that maybe he's agitated at best, but perhaps more problems than that going on.
Exactly. The driving has been unpredictable, but so is his behavior behind the wheel there. As we zoomed in, you could see very, very agitated as he was starting to feel that pressure. I think all of these maneuvers at this point are basically random turns, just desperate to get away. They just don't seem to have a clear destination in mind, or at least they didn't before that driver jumped out, and this passenger who's taking control of the vehicle certainly appears to be making this up as he goes along, as he parallels the railroad tracks there on Randolph Street, coming up on a railroad crossing, looking to make the turn over the tracks, crossing there, and occasionally, as you saw, even dipping into the oncoming lanes of traffic. That's also a tactic that could be, in some cases, maybe not in this case, but in some cases, an effective maneuver if you're being pursued by the sheriff's department, because if it gets too dangerous, including going the wrong way in oncoming traffic, the sheriff's department will typically start to pull back. They will, immediately give the order to either cancel the pursuit or put it into surveillance mode, whatever the case may be. In this event, they are dedicating more resources instead of less. So they appear to be dedicated to getting the suspect off the road, especially as he corners himself in neighborhoods like this. He keeps finding himself in these relatively residential neighborhoods. As he comes, look at the spike strips. There's the spike. They were able to predict that really easily, and a very effective spike, I think. Yeah. At least the left turn, at least the right side, at least that right tire, I believe, made good impact with that spike strip. We will slowly start to see, I believe, the air deflate from that front right tire, maybe even the right rear tire, as he continues down Walker Avenue, and now he's going in a circle, making a random left turn as he starts to feel the effects of that spike strip, slowly bleeding the air out of his tires. That vehicle is going to start to behave differently. It's going to steer very differently, and he's going to slow down here. Maybe he's going to just come to his senses and realize that time is up as he continues to push it here. Really not, look at this, he's going over another spike with the same wheel. But clearly now he is just on a joyride at this point until that vehicle gives up on him. But he is not giving up easily, guys.
Yeah. No doubt about it, Chris.
Front wheel for sure, right, Colleen?
Front wheel, David. And we saw it now, it's hit twice. And this isn't one of those cars that has those run flat tires.
Now they're going for the left. And sure enough, very smart. I'm sorry, I was just about to say, if they're smart here, they'll try and get on the left side as he comes out that same loop that he was in. And now they've got both, I believe, an effective spike on the front left tire. So all of these tires should start giving up here as he continues down 60th Street. with LA County Sheriff right behind him. So they effectively spiked the front right, and then that same officer crossed the street as he made the circle through the neighborhood and then was prepared smartly to go ahead and attempt to spike the left side of the vehicle, and I think he made good contact there as well. So what happens here, guys, as you are familiar, those spike strips leave behind a straw-like peg in the tube of those tires that'll slowly bleed the air out. You saw when we were over the right side, already that front right tire is flat. As we come around the driver's side, if we could, you'll start to see the same thing on the left side. Hopefully we'll start to see that tire go flat as well. So he's on borrowed time, or at least the vehicle is, and sure enough, you can see that front left tire losing air.
Everybody coming out there.
Shows you how quickly the news travels if there's a pursuit going on in their neighborhood. And they're all out there getting cell phone video of this pursuit. They
appear to be, at least that left tire, that left rear appears intact, but clearly the front left is out of commission here. You'll start to see the rubber tear apart if he continues, especially if he picks up any kind of speed whatsoever. I think he realizes at this point that, you know, he's on borrowed time, but, you know, when you're in that position, you just can never really put yourself in the mind of somebody like this who is under this kind of pressure. Who knows what they're going through psychologically, what the rap sheet looks like, and of course, if they're under the influence of anything. There's so many factors. He's coming to a pause and continuing once again up the LA River. And again, we've been here before. He is just kind of making these circles up as he goes along. Again, attracting attention in these residential neighborhoods is really a recipe for disaster, because you start to see people want to get involved. They're tracking it on ABC7 and they want to get a picture of it, maybe post it for social media, and it just becomes a messier situation for law enforcement. Right now, he's back in that industrial section right along the LA River. You can see the bike path there just to the left of him. He's coming northbound on the west side of the river. And now it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse as he starts and stops, maybe trying to think of where he could run and hide. I would venture to say he probably is not even aware of the dozen or so black and white patrol cars right behind him. So he's not going to get very far, but he's sure giving it a go. That is the riverbed right there. So he potentially could take this into the river